I remember
Nice
we
to
met in
see you.
Taiwan.
Yeah. All right, so I hope everyone can see this screen.
Yes, Mita.
Yes, all right, okay. So Yuseva, you may start first.
All right, thank you, Mita. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being in our session. My name is Yuseva, and
my name is Mita. Sorry.
We are from Sanata Dharma University, Indonesia, and we are also the members of the Indonesian Extensive Reading Association. And today we would like to share our experience in setting up IERA program to empower community. Thanks. Yeah, so maybe directly go to slide. Yeah, thank you. So in case some of you are not familiar with where Indonesia is, so we are here inside the red square. And then next. Okay, and this is Indonesia. I believe that everyone already knows that Indonesia consists of many islands. I guess it's around 17,000 islands. Mita and I are from Java Island, Yogyakarta to be exact, where both of us initiated the Indonesian Extensive Reading Association in October 2016. Next, okay. So related to literacy, reading interest has been increasing actually from year to year, but the main concern is related to book availability and access, which is not equal from one island to the others. So if you see from the data here, from the total population in Indonesia and the book availability, the national book availability ratio is low, which is 0.09. It's like one book for 12 people. Next. Okay, and the level of reading habit of each province from the 2020 data shows that the level of reading habit is 55.74. If you see the highest level of reading habit is Yogyakarta, so I'm sorry, it's if it is too small, and some provinces, especially from the eastern parts of Indonesia, is still below 50. Next.
All right, so throughout the years, even before we established IERA, we have been having a lot of discussions about literacy and about reading habit across Indonesia. And what I'm going to show you are just some excerpts of conversations that we both had with some teachers who are struggling with teaching reading in the remote areas. So the first one is from Father Nani Songkare. So he's from Flores here. You see here in the map. So this is what he said. Since we couldn't have access to easy reading English books, we kind of forced the students to read any books or articles which were apparently too difficult for them. In the end, they had negative impression of reading and English, and I realized this was the wrong move. So of course, this happened in many parts of Indonesia where access to books were very scarce. And the next conversations that we had that we wanted to highlight in this presentation is coming from Sasmoyo Hermawan. He's an activist in literacy, and he has been moving from many different places in Indonesia, particularly in the remote areas, like in the circles here. So he said that the school libraries were predominantly consisting of textbooks. And the school enforced compulsory reading program by allocating 1 to 2 hours for students to drop everything and just read, but they can only read textbooks. So who would enjoy reading textbooks? So this is the real experience that he had in many different areas across Indonesia in the remote areas. And the next chat that we had that we would like to highlight, and one of this, she is here with us here, Ibu Dio Andespa, and she said that my students need more assistance and facilities to embrace literacy into their life. And however, literacy development is still relying on school library where the collection is limited, especially for engaging English books and the English exposures. And altering this tendency is what she has been trying to do throughout the years. So what did we learn from this? So we knew since the beginning, even before we established IERA, we feel that there is a need to create a platform for teachers to share their ideas, hopes, insights, and concerns on topics related to literacy and reading. And therefore, since Yuseva and I are working at Sanata Dharma University in Yogyakarta, we decided to contact the rectorate and the university, and they agreed to have an MOU with Extensive Reading Foundation. And that's where all it started. So IERA, or Indonesian Extensive Reading Association, was born in Sanata Dharma, Yogyakarta on October 21st, 2016. And of course, this would not have been successful had it not been for Dr. Willy Renandia, one of the board members of ERF, and also Dr. Rob Waring, who came to Jogja to sign the MOU with us. All right, so this is what we finally feel that we are doing the right thing, because in 2016, apparently our government, Indonesian government, launched literacy program. So it's like, you know, we were born almost at the same time, and we were not acknowledged about this at first when we established IERA. But the government, the Indonesian government, launched the program related to literacy, and the core value or mission is because it's strengthening literacy, culture, innovation, and creativity. So this is like in line with what our mission and vision is. So this one is the what and why and how. So IERA, of course, it's an Extensive Reading Foundation affiliate, and it was established in October 2016 with the help of Dr. Willy Renandia. And Dr. Rob Waring came to Yogyakarta and signed the MOU with Dr. Oda, the vice rector of Sanata Dharma University. And the reason why our university said, yes, let's do this, is because we have this mission of having like community service to the people around us and also all over Indonesia related to extensive reading and increasing literacy activities throughout the universities and schools. Okay, Yuseva?
Okay, and like for the how, we focus on two main activities or two main points. The first one is introduce ER by setting up programs, roadshows, discussion forums. And the second one is networking, right? Next, please, Nipa. All right, so we would like to share the how we set up and promote extensive reading program to empower community in Indonesia. We will divide this section into two, so before and during the COVID-19 pandemic. So the first programs that we were focusing on to introduce extensive reading and the positive benefits of it were through free workshop to teachers and ER roadshows in collaboration between IERA, ERF, and Rilo US Embassy in Jakarta. So here for the ER workshop for teachers, we had Dr. Willy Renandia as one of the speakers for the workshop. And before the workshop, we required the teachers to submit short proposal telling us about any ER or reading programs that they had conducted. So the main reason was actually because we wanted to make this workshop effective for those who had practiced ER, and it could be the training for trainers. So when they came back to their place, they could train other teachers on how to implement ER. Next, please. Okay, so besides a workshop, we also conducted ER roadshows. And it's like having series of ER workshops to several universities in different cities in Indonesia. So in 2018, we went to 6 universities in 1 week. And in 2019, we went to more places. And we also had a chance to work with Rilo, thanks to Rilo, and also My America Jakarta, and invited some representatives from the Indonesian government and also Ministry of Education. Next, please. Okay, and in a local scale, we also set up an example of inviting students to read for pleasure through IERA Book Day. So in the next slide, we displayed our books, both graded readers and non-graded readers, because we actually also wanted to tell students that extensive reading doesn't have to be always graded readers. So we displayed the books along the university corridor and invited students to read together. And we did it once a month. Next, please. We also reached out to schools and offered to help setting up ER program. So we brought books to schools and then read together and did follow-up activities after reading. One of the students' favorite activities was when we read aloud Egghead by Michael Lacy Freeman. And after that, we did a Skype video call with Michael, and the students had a chance to ask and also express their feeling directly to Michael. So it was the most unforgettable reading experience for the students. We also help schools setting up their library and choosing books for the students. And also in order to reach out to non-formal community, we did community service. We promoted the love of reading to children in one of the churches. So our program inspired some ER practitioners to adopt and adapt what we did in their mosque and other communities. So here, regardless who the participants are, we focus on ER activities that of course can be adopted and adapted by anyone. We also visited schools in rural area with unfortunate condition. Again, we brought our book collection and read with the children. Okay, and what about during pandemic? Mita is going to explain because I guess she is experiencing more as a teacher. Mita, please.
Yes, thank you, Yuseva. Yeah, during the pandemic, of course, everything stopped when the pandemic happened. But we, both of us, realized that IERA should not stop, right? Regardless of the situation. So what we did was we tried to navigate the situation and the condition by doing something else still with the purpose of increasing literacy and increasing reading habit, and of course, introducing extensive reading to the community. So we tried this. We used to have book day, which we cannot do at the moment. And we sometimes have book clubs, although it's not yet scheduled appropriately, but we do try to do book clubs. So in this case, because of the pandemic, we went from the offline to the online setting. So we created virtual book club. And here we work together with the lecturers or the teacher staff at the university where I work at. And we work together with the lecturer and try to create literacy activities like this through Zoom activities. And if you see here, these are the volunteers. So we have IERA volunteers, so students who are active students, and they are intrigued and interested in extensive reading. And on the left are the participants. Besides the virtual book club, we also do webinars, and we have been doing this since May 2020, and it's still going on strong right now as we speak. So we have been doing like 22 webinars throughout since May 2020 until now. And the webinar is called Virtual Talk here. If you can see, The topics are still related with extensive reading and about children literacy. And if you can see here, we invite speakers from ERF. You have Tom here. And we also invite IERA members, our members, to also participate as the speakers. And we also invite other parties who are not in IERA or not in ERF, but they are an enthusiast of ER or literacy. So we still can do community service, but through the online setting like this. And also we have podcasts. This is initiated by Yuseva and Lanoka. And if you go to Spotify or to YouTube channel, you can find them there. And the contents are really friendly, in my personal opinion, because the contents are just like conversations with practitioners of extensive reading. So not only experts, but they also invite practitioners so they can give tips and tricks to any of the listeners or the viewers about how to deal with extensive reading and how to create activities in extensive reading. And we also have additional programs. We have book donation and book lottery in workshops, or also in other activities. And we can do this with the help of ERF and RELO, US Embassy in Jakarta. So we were able to do book lottery, and those who win will get a box or 2 boxes of books, a set of books, graded reader books, which are still quite difficult to find here in Indonesia. And the latest one is, this is actually like a continuation of what we did in the roadshow in 2019, where we were in My America, Jakarta, and we met people from the government and talk about extensive reading. And this is one of the fruits of that. So they contacted us and they wanted us to create module for junior high school teachers all over Indonesia and talk about extensive reading and intensive reading. So the Directorate of SMP, or the Division of Ministry of Education, was the one that approached us. And we are now finalizing the modules as we speak. And we're still trying to rearrange the schedule for the workshops, because we are not allowed to do offline workshops at the moment, because we're still in the kind of semi-lockdown, so to speak. So the question is, why are the ER programs can be done in difficult circumstances? It's difficult for us, yeah, so the word difficult can be very subjective. So there are 3 things that we would like to highlight. It's because the ER programs itself, we do not work alone. This is not a standalone activity. So we try to reach out to other institutions, schools, librarians, and other stakeholders, so that we can make sure that the activities, the ER activities, still can be done in other places. And we also have joint research collaboration. And I'm going to explain to you why this can be a very good source. And if you also read, like maybe in 2019, we had like a special edition of articles, scientific articles related to extensive reading, where the IERA members and also board of ERF wrote their scientific articles there. And we also do networking with ERF, RELO, and X Reading with Paul, sorry, and with the Indonesian government and book publishers. And we want to say something good about it, not being too cocky at the same time, but I think one of the things that we hear a lot is that IERA has been very active throughout the year, despite of this circumstance. And there are 3 keys here. The first one is the members, right? So the members, we chose the members not only because they're all, they like ER, but because they have the passion in spreading the positive vibe of extensive reading. And the members are educators and reading enthusiasts specializing in literacy and ER. And they're very resourceful in networking, and they come from different parts of Indonesia. And the second one is because of our networking, we're very proactive in reaching out to different institutions and parties. And the third one is the flexibility. So we encourage our members to always share ideas, opinions through the Facebook page that we created in 2016. And we also have Instagram account where everyone or anyone can share their ideas and thoughts and how to explore extensive reading in their respective places. So what is the lessons learned then and our future plan? So we can see that our mission has brought several positive impacts, slowly but surely, but we are trying very hard to do that. And we want to make sure that people are more aware of the importance of ER and try to practice ER and have access to better books. And hopefully in these past 5 years, we will be able to, we had been able to inspire other people. And in the next future plans, we do hope that we will still be able to give inspirations to other people. And the definite future plan is we want to collaborate with other affiliates. So we've been walking basically alone, trying to explore IERA, and now we are beginning to know the things that we need to do here in IERA, and maybe in the future we can reach out to other ERF affiliates from other countries and collaborate with them. And the last thing is how we can manage to do everything. Until now, it's because we start from the small things. We start small, we choose the right people, and we are always consistent and committed in doing what we do. So on that note, we would like to say thank you to ERF also for trusting Yuseva and I to establish IERA, and hopefully that we will be able to continue what we are doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yuseva and Mita. Can everybody please give them a round of applause? Thank you. And we are kind of short on time for Q&A here in the main room. So the presenters will move to their breakout room. And if you would like to ask questions or continue the conversation with them, please feel free to join them in their breakout room.
Okay. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great. And now our next presenter will be Kimberly Rothville. So Kimberly, do you want to go ahead and get your slides set up and your sharing set up?
Yeah,